Aaron Judge is a better version of Brock Lesnar.
What is something you love as much as the Charmin Bears love wiping?
As an opposing fan, you'd probably see his face and want to sock him between the cracks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am today's host, Alex Clark, joined by our very own curse breakers, and Matthias Allman Kurosaki and Ryan Splash Potts, my main men, on this fine April Wednesday. How are you all doing?
I'm doing better than my baseball team is, I'll say that much.
Understandable.
But yeah, shoulders feeling... shoulder pain's still sort of lingering, but we're just kind of powering through. Getting ready, going to North Carolina 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'm turning 26 on Saturday, so that'll be interesting. The city of New York as a whole is just looking forward to the NBA playoffs. But other than that, Splash, your team is in the playoffs too, by the way.
Yes, that's why I specifically root against the New York Knicks.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, so that's the only thing saving New York sports right now. I don't follow hockey, but none of the tri-state area hockey teams made the playoffs. The baseball teams have combined gone 1-13 over the last week. Yeah, so and I don't know any Nets fans. Sorry, guys. At least not in New York. But yeah, doing all right. Having a birthday dinner on Saturday. We pre-ordered a birthday cake from Magnolia Bakery, one of our local spots. We went for an old-fashioned vanilla cake, chocolate frosting. So yeah, other than my baseball team, I'm doing all right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, speak for yourself. My baseball team is high on the vibes. We got Big Dom. We got Big Dub. It's unbelievable. And Ronald and Riley still can't hit. Maybe one day. But I want to give a shout out to Michael Malone, new coach at North Carolina. He developed LeBron James. He developed Nikola Jokic. He developed Chris Paul. Are these players, would they be Hall of Famers without Michael Malone? I don't think so, man. I think he developed them from a ball of clay into the greatest three basketball players to have ever lived. So yeah, Michael Malone, baby.
Yeah, I mean, look,
dude.
The resume speaks for itself. It looks like here. I don't know here, and I don't know what you're talking about there, Alanis. No, is he trolling? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
Know. I have trouble telling sometimes.
I mean, honestly,
I don't know, man.
From my perspective, I developed Hunter Henry as an NFL tight end. One time we did a call together. He called my phone during the draft. That means I developed Hunter Henry. Clear as day.
Dude, 100%.
Actually, in fact, I shook hands with Brandon Gaudin. I developed Brandon Gaudin, the voice of the Braves. I developed him. Let's go, Braves.
You know what? Fair enough, Splash. I'm just gonna leave it there. Just gonna leave that there. I'm doing all right over here. It has been an interesting last week or so here on my end. Not a whole lot of honestly big things happen. Just a lot of little things coming together here. And baseball has been definitely been one of the storylines here. Splash is, look, he's on another level today. I feel like that's just because the Braves are winning. If the Braves were not winning, he would be his voice would be about 3 octaves lower, and we barely see him in the screen. So, you know what? Honestly, I'll take that. We'll absolutely take that. What we will also take right now is a little bit of happiness, I want to say, in the fact that Kevin McGonigle has now signed an extension here to go play for his team, the Detroit Tigers, for 8 years, $150 million. The news kind of happened like 7 this morning? Like, for the first time also, by the way, news actually happened before our podcast, so we can actually talk about it when it happens. Oh my gosh. But this is a huge move. McGonigle has been playing absolutely out of his mind. So far, has already accrued 1.1 baseball reference WAR. Is batting over 300 with an OPS plus of 162. Again, according to OPS plus here on Baseball Reference. So, fellas, what I wanted to talk to you guys first about here is this is obviously amazing for McGonigle, but is it too early? Is this one of those moves that we've been seeing now a number of extensions here already with Connor Griffin and all that here? So is it too early for McGonigle, or are the Tigers just following the trend because they're seeing what's working?
I'm all for it, honestly. I really don't think it's too early. I think we got to remind ourselves with some of these extensions that you got to look at the average annual value of a lot of these, and you're only really asking in terms like, you think one war is supposed to equate to about 8 million in total value. So you're really asking him to be about 2.5 win player over the life of the contract, which I think he will be way more than that. But I think this is the right move, and you got to also think about this pending salary cap that's coming. I don't know. We don't know if it's actually going to be a thing, but say there is a salary cap, a lot of these contracts are probably going to be grandfathered in. This is, I think it's the right move for the Tigers. It's the right move for McGonigle. He gets locked up through his 20s. Basically, he would hit free agency at the age of 29, and he looks really comfortable at the plate. That's what I like to see here. He only has 1 home run, but he's not pressing. He's walking more than he's striking out. He's batting over 300. He's getting his extra base hits. I mean, you really can't ask for much more out of him. And I know people are wondering, oh, what's this going to do about Tarik Skubal? And look, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. With or without this extension, I don't know if Tarik Skubal is a Tiger beyond this year. But I mean, look, and as Splash pulled up the Baseball Savant page, that's a lot of red. This isn't just, some lucky hits and stuff. He is really proving himself as a solid young ball player. I mean, really, you watch his at-bats, he's taking those at-bats like he's a 10-year veteran. So good for Kevin McGonigle and good for the Tigers. This is the right move for them.
I love this deal, both for Detroit and McGonigle. You get a guy in McGonigle who has a really advanced plate approach. And I think that will translate for the long-term success of the Detroit Tigers. And whether he plays shortstop, I think he might profile more as a third baseman or a second baseman. So you got to do some shuffling there with Colt Keith on the infield. You still have to pay Javi Baez for a little while longer. So he's playing some short. He's playing some center with Parker Meadows on the IL. By the way, did you guys see that collision he had with Riley Green?
Yeah, it was really ugly.
That was just,
dude, that's one of the nastiest collisions I've seen in a while.
Horrible. So speedy recovery for Parker Meadows. I wonder if they bring up Max Clark. Just a thought, but yeah, I love what McGonigle does with the plate is what I want hitters to do. You don't swing and miss a lot out of the zone. You don't chase a lot, but in the zone you mash. And this is something that McGonigle added in the last, year or so. It was the hit tool's always been there. It was like a 75 grade, 80 grade hit tool, but then he added some power. So this is the difference between a McGonigle and like a Jacob Wilson, who you guys know I'm a big Jacob Wilson fan. I picked him to win Rookie of the Year last year. Jacob Wilson has to hit 300 to be a good hitter, right? He has to hit 280, 290. Luis Ariz has to hit 280, 290, 300 to be a good hitter. McGonigle, if he hits 275, which I think might be on the low end of his career batting average, if he hits 275, well, he's going to pitch in with some doubles and some homers, and I think he will grow into some more power. So I like this profile as a 3 to 4 win player moving forward. The defense could use some work, but Bobby Witt Jr. was a horrible defender his first time up. So if McGonigle figures it out at third, that's a perfectly good player. And Detroit needs some hitters. You have the pitchers. You have Skubal right now. You developed Skubal. You have Casey Mize. You developed Mize, right? You have Framber for a couple of years, but they really need that big bopper. You have Riley Green. He strikes out a lot. Parker Meadows has been injured. Spencer Torkelson, for being a 1-1, not exactly the player you want, but he's been a solid player. He's a good run producer. Gleyber Torres is there. He sees a lot of pitches, but you need that, that star level player. And I think McGonigle is that most likely player to be a star from like a back of the baseball card standpoint, a guy who hits 300, hits 20 homers, scores 100 runs, drives in 80. Max Clark might be a 5-1 player one day, but that'll be a defense and speed more so profile. So I love this for Detroit.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on this one. Like, normally I'm a little hesitant when it comes to rookie deals like this, but I'm going to be real. You break it down here. 80 is like 150 million over 8 years is not a lot. And realistically, if this is a guy that is going to be, a 2+ win player every year, that's fine here, especially with how things are going. But also, I think there's two big positives for this deal here. The first of which is that the lockout is coming here potentially in 2027. And that means that now you're going to have him for an extra year on top of all of this here. The next thing I want to make sure I bring up here is Skubal, because we've already talked about him a little bit here. But the main thing that this tells me with Skubal is that by getting this deal done, it does create a question mark for Skubal. But at the same time, I don't think people are talking about how this could be an actual bonus for trying to sign Skubal. For a couple of reasons here. Just follow me on this little train of logic. There has been a lot of issue between Skubal and the Tigers already. Like, this is already well-documented information. So, what do you do if you were the Tigers to try and win back a little bit of good faith? Well, sign some hitting to help out Skubal actually win games, so you're not the only thing keeping you in playoff contention. They just locked up their rookie now for the next 8 years. That's a great start. But on top of it, by doing it early and getting the lower average annual value, that does open up potentially a bit more money to continue to sign Skubal. Here, is it going to actually happen? I don't know. I do think that there is very much a chance that this signing does throw away Skubal completely. But at the same time, I see the vision where now they are able to make an extension with Skubal, and this is kind of the first big go of that. Also, Ralph Pearson, always good to see you, my friend. Yeah. One thing on Splash's point about him becoming a third baseman, I'd like to direct the attention here to the fielding stat of the Savant page and the arm strength being in the 22nd percentile. That to me, that goes more to second base. Here, the third base. If you're at the hot corner, you need to have that strong arm. Like, yes, the range isn't as much needed, but it is still the hot corner. I think personally, this kind of value does translate decently well for being a second baseman. It's not horrible for a shortstop either, but regardless here, I think this is going to be a very, very good deal for the Tigers. But what I want to know here is how far is it going to go? Because you also brought up Max Clark earlier. If Clark comes up early due to this injury here, and then he starts balling out, do we see a potential, big play there? Here, do we sign another deal to Max Clark? And now you have two young hitters, which at that point, now you actually have a core. This would be that would be extremely interesting, especially as a pitcher. One of the things I know that being a Mariner fan specifically, one of the things that's been happening with Seattle trying to get their pitchers extended was bringing in their hitters, signing Cal Raleigh to a longer deal, signing Josh Naylor to this kind of deal, signing Julio to this kind of deal. When you have that hitter core, having an actual pitchers want to sign more with you because they know they're not going to be there to do everything. Here, I like how you bring up a lot of these other things here when it comes to the Tiger Splash. Make sure again you're watching the podcast here. We're live on YouTube right now. Here again at Losses Above Replacement. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, so then you guys will know when we go live. But what I like here what the Tigers are doing is that they are securing the future right now, and they believe fully that McGonigle can be that kind of piece. You brought up Splash when you're talking that he's going to be the quiet star, the back of the baseball card star. There's another player that fits that profile, in my opinion, a lot. That's Mike Trout. Mike Trout is the guy that very quietly was doing everything and then remembered, oh, wait a minute, he's the best player in the game, and his stats were so good that you had to take notice. Here, I don't know if people are going to fully take notice of McGonigle, but if he continues playing like he is right now, he's going to be on some sort of chart, because right now, again, he has an OPS plus of 162. He's slugging 492 with an on-base percentage of 417. Let me say that again. An on-base percentage of 417 is extremely impressive for a young player, especially here. Like you said, he's taking great at-bats. He is not chasing. He is taking the pitch that is in the zone and driving it where it needs to be. You know what we call that? We call that being a professional hitter. there's a lot of guys here that they are only pulled, they will swing at everything, and it's only going to go to the batter's hand side. That's not what we're seeing from McGonigle. He is doing what is needed to be done when you're at the base. It's like when you're at the dish. You have a pitch that's outside, push it the other way. You have a pitch that's inside, drive that sucker. I like what I'm seeing a lot from McGonigle here. Any other notes we want to have here on the Tigers and McGonigle? I mostly want to get your guys' also opinion here. We talked a little bit about Skubal here. Do you think this helps or hurts the Tigers? I've already given my opinion on this here. Do you guys think this helps or hurts the team signing Skubal?
I don't know if it really has any impact, if I'm being completely honest. Like I said earlier, unfortunately, seeing what happened with the whole arbitration deal with them like being so far apart, not really sure if there's really, I can't even put like a number on it. The chance that Skubal is playing for the Tigers next year or whenever the next season is, with this lockout on the horizon. But I mean, I guess it could help. I mean, assuming I look again, we have to also know about the salary cap coming into play. Because if there is no salary cap, then yeah, I'm sure Skubal's more inclined to come back, especially if they call up Max Clark. And they, this young core continues to improve. I know they probably were a little disappointed with how last year ended, especially with the late season sort of collapse they had. And it was nice to beat the Guardians in the wild card round, but I mean, they probably didn't accomplish what they set out to do. So it with no salary cap, yeah, sure. I think it slightly increases the likelihood that he comes back. If there is a salary cap, forget it. I think it does. I mean, he's probably going to waltz out the door anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it changes much on the Skubal front. And I mean, honestly, what kind of contract are you giving Skubal at the end of the McGonigle? Like, Skubal's gone before McGonigle's gone, regardless if you extend him or not, or you work out a deal in the offseason. I don't think you're giving a pitcher 8 years or whatever comical amount it would take to retain Skubal. And is it maybe like good eyewash to say, hey, Tarik, we're paying position players, and we paid another pitcher, honestly. You paid Valdez, $130 million or whatever. I don't think it hurts. Maybe it helps a little bit. I don't think it's a big factor. If you're Skubal, I don't think he's going to his agent and saying, or I guess he's not going to Scott Boras and saying, guys, or guy, dude, fella, they are really putting in the money here. I think I want to stay in Detroit. You know who puts in a lot of money to their team? The Los Angeles Dodgers. You know who puts in a lot of money to their team? The New York Mets, right? So if you're trying to argue, well, we paid Kevin McGonigle, the Mets paid Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. Oh, we paid Framber Valdez. The Dodgers paid Blake Snell. They just had Clayton Kershaw walk through their doors for 20 years, and he's the greatest left-handed pitcher who ever lived, maybe. They just paid Edwin Diaz after paying Tanner Scott the year before. They just paid Kyle Tucker and Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts.
Not even mentioning Yamamoto here either.
Exactly.
or Roki. Yeah, this is one where I think it's weird to say this is kind of more of a non-factor, a non-story here, because honestly, everything I've been seeing on social media has been what does this mean for Skubal? What does this mean for Skubal here? And I mean, obviously, it makes sense. He's the reigning back-to-back American League Cy Young Award winner. But yeah, Splash, go
yeah, it's sort of like the how does this affect LeBron's legacy thing? It's like, okay, like, yes, I guess anything you want can affect LeBron's legacy, but like me drinking, I got some peach mango water today. That doesn't affect LeBron's legacy. But if you're on social media, do you want some extra credit? Do you want some extra engagement? How does this affect LeBron's legacy? Shocked face, Nick Wright face, Stephen A. Smith face.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of things we could talk about today that may fit in that exact same mold. But no, yeah, I think it's a non-factor. But I will say that at the very least here, what I said earlier about how this could affect them re-signing, Skubal still holds, I feel, because you're still going to have a lot of money is still very much a very finite object for a lot of teams unless your name is the Los Angeles Dodgers. And which at that point, you've turned the salary cap off and you've turned money off here. So you just kind of have everyone you want to here. But it's going to be one of those stories I think it's going to be talked about a lot more once the end of the season comes around here. Because if there has not been any more talk or any more movement, let's say by trade deadline, I think a lot of the moves that the Tigers make are going to be put under a microscope to see, was this the trigger point? Was this the straw that broke the Skubal's back? Something along those lines here. Any last things before we move on here? We have a bunch of comments actually I kind of want to get to as well here. So I'm going to go back a little bit further here. From Alana here, question for you three. Would you rather be developed by Malone or look like Isaac? Splash, you want to explain this one for me? I'm not a basketball person.
Yeah. So Malone is Michael Malone, the new coach at North Carolina. Isaac is a guy in the group chat. We're just trolling Isaac here.
Nice.
But hey, developed by Malone. He developed LeBron James, man.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Could he develop me into a Hall of Famer? I mean,
yeah, the GOAT actually.
Something along those lines here. Alana's also asking, baseball should get some college football to go over the team's players over-unders. Unfortunately, this is losses but replacement. This is a baseball podcast. If you want to hear about football stuff, either go to a different podcast or ask Splash very nicely to host one.
Yeah, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. I mean, honestly, fair. XYZ Ball, it's always good to see you in the chat. Go Giants, and you guys wish that they had a player like McGonigle. Yeah. Something Jung-Hoo Lee, something Joey Bart, something. Anyway, is Alec Boehm a bottom 5 player in the league?
Philly fans think so. I think
Philly fans think so. NL East fans think so. I'm not going to comment on this any further.
Has he touched home plate still?
Good question. Has Matt Holliday touched home plate yet? I mean,
I honestly don't know.
All right, good question.
Fair enough. All right, so
keep the questions coming, guys.
I want to give a quick give the reins to Splash for just a moment here with our War Awards update here so far. For those of you that have been following along, we had our picks for American League and National League Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Cy Young, and we're doing these along with the betting odds as well. So Splash, I hand things off to you. Can you give us a bit of an update?
Absolutely. So on the WAR front, Mac has taken the lead. He and I were tied through last week. He's at 10.6 WAR, carried by his 5.7 Baseball Reference WAR, carried by Aaron Judge at 0.9 B WAR. Sorry. Then I'm in second place with 9.9 total WAR. My F WAR total is helped out by McGonigle, Skubal, Drake Baldwin, my GOAT, Vladdy, Bobby Witt. They're chipping in, but I have a big negative. I have the only 2 negatives here: Jazz negative 0.3 and Griffin Jacks, the biggest negative of them all, negative 0.7. Then Alex bringing up third, but he's right there. He's in striking distance. Mm-hmm. He did not like Garrett Crochet going up to Minneapolis and getting bombed. Negative 0.6 Baseball Reference WAR. Also negative 0.1 for his.
Arguably the worst start in history. One of the worst starts in history.
That is the worst, I think.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the Cardinals pitcher that it was Cardinals Dodgers? I think Sunday Night Baseball, he allowed like 10 runs in the first inning.
It was his major league debut too. Mike Myers, I believe was his name. Yeah.
Yikes. So, but Alex, big ups. You have Bryce Turang. He's at 1 full WAR on Baseball Reference, and then Yordan Alvarez total 2.2. So he's balling out. He's one of the best players in the league. So Mac leads the way on the WAR front. In the awards front, Alex leads the way. He has the Ohtani card, but even without Ohtani, he would be winning. So he is Julio 6%. All these are from Kalshi. We're not sponsored. Julio 6%, Skubal 34%, Okamoto 7%, Ohtani 61%, Skeens 21%, McLean 24%. Mac is in second place. He gets a solid boost from Bobby Witt. He has Kevin McGonigle, the co-favorite with Chase Stellato to win AL Rookie of the Year. Then the Skeens McLean combo, they're either tied for the lead or leading outright in those odds. Now I'm bringing up the rear. I have Ohtani, and then I have a bunch of picks under 10%. Julio, Cease, Murakami, Webb, Crawford. No one's off the board yet. They're all over 2%, but yeah, woof.
Yeah, it Yikes. Honestly, that's just how the early season goes sometimes here. I do think there's going to be a lot of change with this as the season goes on. And, it's going to be very interesting to see going forward. Alana's saying that I told you McLean is the real deal. He's good.
Yeah, I agree, Eddie. I was at his major league debut. Dude's just electric. I mean,
yeah. And Alana, as your last post, we'll get to that a little bit later. Don't want to immediately jump in on this, but first off, we have a quick little change here. It is now time for the question of the day, and today it comes courtesy of me. Today, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite sports superstition? Here, there's a lot of superstitions that have gone on throughout all of sports. Here, and this is a little bit of a harder one, but there's a very big reason why I asked this question that I will talk about in just a moment. But, fellas, is there one just in particular that you're just like, okay, I look back on that and think, okay, that was awesome?
There's so many random superstitions, though, that I can't even, I can't even think of one off the top of my head.
I got one.
Okay, go for
it,
Splash.
I
have a personal one. So I got my Lamar Jackson jersey after week 4 of the 2019 season. I wore it week 5. I wore it week 6. They won week 5. They won week 6. They won again and again and again and again. It took me 6 months to wash the jersey because they went on a 12-game winning streak as soon as I bought the jersey. So that was a nice one. I did wash it when I went home for Christmas after they lost to the Titans. Sad days. But the iconic golden thong, Derek Jeter. Like, if you were in a slump, you break out the golden thong and you're going to go 5 for 5 at the dish that night.
I respect that. Yeah. Look, anything you can do just to break the slump here. Something, Bull Durham, the roses in the front, something.
Yeah, I mean, this the thing is that even I'm thinking from my athletic career, I had so many random superstitions. It'd be I don't know, if I listen to music and it's really I'm going I'm having a great weekend with that pump up song or something. I'll just keep listening to it before all my races. That's one I got. A lot of it has because I have a whole pre-race or pre-comp playlist on Spotify. So that's one. I mean, there's a superstition that I don't even know if it's a superstition. It was a 1-game thing. And unfortunately, Splash, your team was on the losing end of this. But in June of 2000, there was a game where the Mets rallied for 10 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning against the Braves bullpen. They were down 8-1. They scored 10 runs. My dad was at the game. I was 2 months old, so obviously I was not there. But my dad was at the game with my siblings. My diving coach, I think, was there. But in the middle of the rally, he dropped his pencil for the scorecard, didn't pick it up because he thought if he picked it up, the rally would stop. Didn't pick it up. They just kept scoring and they won the game. So he never finished filling in the score line. But hey,
and that's how it be sometimes. Anything you can do to just not mess up the mojo.
Question: is a rally cap a superstition?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, then that's my go-to because I'm all about rally caps.
That's
what about a rally monkey?
Or that, yeah,
yep, rally, that
dude.
Anything that is not part of the direct sports that you believe will make the team better or will not end a rally or will start a rally counts for this question.
Thinking back to my academic greatness, every time I took an AP exam, I would write a joke at the end of my DBQ, LAQ, whatever the essay question was for that particular exam. So I took 11 AP exams. I wrote a joke on 9 of them. The very last page, I wrote a joke on 9 of them. I wore a jersey. I wore a Red Wings jersey to 9 of my exams. I made a 5 on all of those. I did not make a 5 on the other 2. So is it just Splash being bad at science? Probably. Is it shenanigans and tomfoolery and superstition? Also, yes. Go Red Wings, even though they suck.
Understandable. All right, I'll go into mine here, and my personal favorite is finding outside sources that have nothing to do with the sport to make your team better. I had this happen last year with the Mariners getting the Etsy Witch here, and it was the funniest thing to me at the time, and then it just became very real, and it was How else do you explain going on a major losing streak and then going on a major winning streak as soon as, as Spells by Luna goes and uncurses your team here? But I bring this up because there's one I need to talk about. XYZ Boss says the Giants even year curse. Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. But speaking of curses, I get to do something I don't get to do very often here. I'm so brutally excited. Mac knows what I'm about to talk about here. And that is that the Mets have been, let's just say, cursed again. And in an effort to uncurse the team, fans went to the WWE and resident curse expert here, Danhausen, who is known for cursing people, and the curses surprisingly work. Make sure you watch wrestling. To uncurse the team in exchange for getting his face on the front, on one of the vans. And he responded, Dealhausen. Now, where is Danhausen's face on the truck? So now the newest thing uncursed for the Mets, we have had OMG, we have had Grimace. It is now time for the era of Danhausen for the New York Mets. Very Mets, very nice. I'm so happy this is, because also Danhausen is just a really funny character, and I love him very much. Also, any chance I can get to talk about both wrestling and baseball at the same time, I am taking 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, you mentioned the, what's it called? The Etsy Witch. We can't forget about the rally shoe also.
Rally shoe. Yeah, I was there for that.
Rally shoe's right there. I don't even know what to talk about with Humpy, the salmon.
That was
actually was not a good superstition. And then I'm just like, I texted you earlier today, like, can we borrow that Etsy Wish or something?
I was about to say, I don't think she's doing work anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the Mets today are trotting out a lineup that reminds me of the lineups they trotted out when I was in middle school, and they were really bad when I was in middle school. Things are going just great in Flushing.
Okay, actually, I have a way to fix the Mets.
I don't know if this is a good thing.
Oh boy,
you must play Cleveland in the World Series. That's what it takes.
Oh,
what? So this is how it be.
Here we go. How to break the curse. The 95 Braves, first win in Atlanta, they beat Cleveland. Cleveland's gone 47 years without a championship at that point. Florida Marlins, first time in franchise history, they win the championship. They beat Cleveland in the World Series. 2016, perhaps the most famous curse of all time. The Chicago Cubs go 108 years without winning a World Series. They go down 3-1 in the World Series to Cleveland. They come back and win the World Series. So that's how the Mets are going to have to win the World Series. They must play the Cleveland. They beat Boston in their World Series back in 1986. That was another team with a long curse. I'm surprised they didn't beat the White Sox. They only beat the Orioles in 1969. That was a juggernaut Orioles team. So maybe you just have to run into a 120-win Cleveland team, similar to the 1954 team that won 110 games in a 154-game season, or 111 games, I'm sorry, and 100 games in the 144-game lockout season in 1995. So the Mets, I have your path. You must convince the American League to make the Guardians into a juggernaut. The Guardians are not going to do that themselves. We know they don't spend money. It's Jose Ramirez and a bunch of schlups.
Hey, with respect of my man, Cal Manzardo.
And Cal Manzardo, yeah, of course.
Yeah, he did. Also, he hit a ball 450 last week.
And to your point, Eddie, yes, there are 144 games left. I would say let's chill out, but this is New York we're talking about. Chilling out. We're called Panic City for a reason, all right?
It's 144 opportunities to lose.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you could get better in 144 games. You could also get way worse. But who knows? There are 144 games. Yeah, let's see what happens. If they're still sucking by Memorial Day, then we'll have a different conversation.
How long are they under 524?
Mac, I have a proposition for you.
Yeah.
If the Mets win, let's say 10 of their next 15 games, now that Danhausen has uncursed the team, I will urge you to watch one episode of Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown.
I mean, look, I'm sure. Actually one of my good friends, like my childhood best friend, I for some reason I didn't know this for a while, but he's actually really into wrestling.
Oh, fair enough.
He went to, I forget which event it was. He went to an indie. He was living in Baltimore last year. He literally just flew out in like for a weekend to go to Indy to this event. Maybe he'll convince me to also watch something.
WrestleMania is this weekend. First hour is free on ESPN each day of Saturday, Sunday.
Hey, and to the Mets' point, the Braves won the World Series after being below 500 at the middle of August.
That's true. And look, the 73 Mets were in last place at the end of August. They didn't win the World Series, but they won the pennant, and they almost won the World Series.
They ran into a buzzsaw known as the Oakland A's.
Yeah, and Reggie Jackson, Mr. October.
That guy was pretty good, I think.
He was all
good
right.
at baseball. Yeah.
He struck out a lot, though. I don't think he would be good in a modern context. I'm joking.
Well,
I'm joking.
I was gonna say, I thought only batting average matters, and wins and losses, the pitcher stats.
Yeah, pitcher stat wins all that matters, because at the end of the day, if you got to win, that means that your team won today's game.
Yeah, that's why Kyle Wright deserves to have a Cy Young award. That's why Rick Porcello deserved it over Justin Verlander. Who's Justin Verlander? I don't know.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
I said never heard of her. That's fine.
No.
Anyway. Anyway, you're talking about teams that have not that won after being not gonna say garbage, but have been lower ranked here earlier in the season here. And by the way, yes, can we all agree that pitcher wins doesn't matter anymore? Yeah, that's kind of the joke here. They have not mattered for a while, and to the point where we're actually starting to get to the point now where ERA is starting to not matter as much.
I think if you stumble across the wrong podcast or the wrong baseball forum and you say ERA is a good stat, you might get laughed out the joint. There's some value to it, of course. And honestly, I think there's some value to the wins and losses, like over the course of a long time. Obviously, if you're the Drew Hutchison season or like a Paul Skeens-Cy season or DeGrom-Cy season, in a small sample size, okay, that's a bit goofy. But if you win 250 games or 300 games, you're not a bum accruing 250 wins. You're not getting bailed out by, your offense scoring 100 runs like that. Over one or two seasons, maybe, but over the course of a full career, I know you're Justin Verlander, great pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, great pitcher, Scherzer, great pitcher, Garrett Cole, one of the best active pitchers. Those are the guys that are 1, 2, 3, 4 on the wins list.
Absolutely.
Well, rest in peace to Kershaw's career, but you get what I'm saying.
True. But with all that being said here, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a game of pretender or contender with the current standings here. So again, we still have 144 games. I get it. We're very early into the season, but we're starting to see some of the storylines starting to buzz, starting to bloom here. And so what we want to do here is we're going to take a look at each of the top division leaders here, and we're going to go one by one here and say, are they contenders? Like, are they actually going to be contenders for, winning the division come September? Or are they just pretending? Are they just the placeholder for right now? So we got two people in the National League here. Let's start in the National League. And I'm going to start out in the West here for this, where their division leader is currently the Los Angeles Dodgers at a 13-4 record. I don't think it's very weird to say that. Thank you, Splash. Yeah. I don't know how much I believe that, but I think it's pretty safe to say that they're contenders, considering that they are, by talent-wise, the best team in baseball.
It looks like they're not even sugarcoating it this year. I mean, last year we saw they only won 93 games. This year they're 13-4 already. They've yet to lose a game to a National League opponent. That's the stat that is crazy to me. They're 8-0 against the National League. They're just. I don't think this is a conversation. They're going to blow away the NL West. They're probably going to win by like 15 games, if I'm being honest. This is not going to be close this year.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think that right now, you take a look at the West here. The Padres are a good team. They're good. They're not great. You look at the Diamondbacks. They're good, not great. You take a look at the Rockies and the Giants. I think XYZ Ball, I could tell you how those teams are right now. But there is just a clear number one in that division. And the stat that you just brought up here of the fact that they have not yet lost to an NL opponent that's insane to me. No, this is absolutely contender. There is the only people that are saying pretender on this are doing so for the clickbait. Here, so Splash, tell me how you're going to get the clickbait.
Yeah, I'm just gonna Photoshop. Hey, we put Otani on the thumbnail today, so
of course we did.
Clickbait. Always so shocked. I just want to. Did John Boy do a breakdown of that?
Not yet. I don't
Okay.
think.
That
but
was
we will get one, I
gold.
bet.
We probably will, yeah.
Just Alvarez sprinting out to the mound. Kimberlin is about to throw the baseball.
I think my favorite part of it is Alvarez then squatting down again. Like what? I don't know. That sums up how the last week or so has gone.
No. I love baseball, man. I get 2,430 opportunities to just laugh, and that was one of those. Great job.
Baseball, so much fun here. But yeah, so Splash contender, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. The Dodgers are a juggernaut. Could they be had in a 7-game series? Maybe, but that's the case with baseball. You know, this isn't like a 2018 Warriors situation. As talented as they are, it is baseball. We got to remember that it is baseball. It's baseball.
It's baseball.
It is baseball.
Baseball. This is the truest thing I think you've ever said on this podcast.
I mean, that's the only thing that keeps
analysis.
me from putting like my house on them winning the World Series or something like that. They're an exceptional team. They have great lineup depth. Andy Pajes has been their best player this year.
He's so locked in right now.
He was the worst player in the history of the playoffs. And now he's been the best player in baseball, and like no funny business here. He's just been the best player in baseball. He's great defensively. He hits for power. He hits for contact. He has a great arm. He's doing everything right now. It's like he's awesome, and that's your best player right now. And that's nothing to say. Otani's been very good. Betts is on the IL. Freddie, Tucker, they're not like being garbage or anything. Max Muncy had a 3-homer game. They pitch. Diaz has not been very good, but they have enough arms.
I think he's dealing with some type of injury, but
like as long as they get rid of those stupid brimless hats.
Please, I saw that, and I'm like,
that's an eyesore, man.
Please go away.
Yeah, I think they were like quietly banned by Major League Baseball.
I hope so.
Sort of like, do you guys remember when the Braves had the big hat celebration in the dugout?
That got banned, I know.
Yeah, that got banned.
I remember there was a Twitter account years ago that I loved, because it was just funny memes here where it was Glaber with no brim, and it was just a picture of Glaber Torres in a Yankee hat with no brim. And I just thought that was the funniest thing, because they just posted a bunch of really, really funny memes. Anyway, let's move on to the NL Central here. And we actually have a tie at the top here between the Reds and the Pirates here. So, fellas, we can give both of us, I think, on this one here. So, what do you guys have for the Reds and the Pirates here? We can talk about both of these teams. Let's start with the Reds, actually. How do you feel about them being contenders or pretenders?
I'm going to be straight up here, pretender. I think the Reds have talent on the pitching side. This offense is basically just Sal Stewart trying to carry them to the promised land. I think Sal Stewart is good. He's not an 1,000 OPS guy. And also I talk about their starting pitching has talent. Their bullpen, yikes. They're a pretender. But I think maybe they're a pretender for the division. I could see them battling for like wild card 3.
Yeah. Does that say they have a 72 OPS plus as a team?
Correct. And Sal Stewart has a 191. So.
Okay. I thought it was going to be like bad, but I didn't realize negative run differential bad. But yeah, I'm in the pretender bucket. And listen, I love the Reds pitching staff. I said they were going to make the playoffs last year, but they currently do not have Hunter Green. Andrew Abbott, regression is coming, young man. Brady Singer hasn't been particularly
good
this year.
Dude.
Yeah, but compared to his last couple seasons, it's here and it's loud. Yeah. Right. Chase Burns hasn't been as good as he was last year. Rhett Lauder hasn't been as good as he was last year. Chase Burns from a stuff perspective and the underlying metrics hasn't been as good as he was last year. Last year he had a horrible ERA, but everything under the hood was great. This year it's been a solid enough ERA at 3.31, but and the bullpen, man, it's just Ernie's after Ernie's after Ernie's. 5 Ernie's for Emilio Pagan, 3 for Connor Phil. Oh, the 3 in 10 innings isn't that bad, but Pierce Johnson, 3 and 6 innings, So I'm not sold with the Reds. I wish they could hit more. It would be so nice if they had signed Kyle Schwarber. If they had signed Kyle Schwarber, I think that would have been great. Although that probably means they don't sign Suarez, and Suarez, you could use Suarez and Schwarber, although Suarez has been not very good this season. My guy, Keep Ryan Hayes, is batting .073. Okay.
Yikes.
Woof.
I like the Reds just because I think they're a fun team here. They've got Ellie De La Cruz. They have my boy Gino, and they have my other boy Emilio Pagan here. Well, they don't have any offense. So no, I'm saying they're pretenders here. Now the Pirates are an interesting conversation to have here because they have been quietly putting together a pretty solid team. Although I'm still going to say pretenders here. I think, honestly, what I need to see more from them is consistency because the bullpen scares me. The lack of consistent offense scares me. O'Neill Cruz playing defense scares me. I don't know. Here's the thing. I think that the Cubs are a strong team. I think the Brewers find ways to win through magic and the power of friendship. So I gotta say pretenders here too. I want the Tigers. Here's the thing. Personally, as a fan, I want the Pirates to win the division because I want to see playoff Paul Skeens. I think that all of America wants to see playoff Paul Skeens. But at the same time, I think that the team needs a little bit more help in the bullpen. I think the team needs a little bit of help defensively. If you address these things at the trade deadline, this is immediately going to go into a contender spot. Like immediately, in fact, you get another good bullpen arm in there, you're going to do some really good work, I think, because they got good young pitchers, they've got Paul Skeens, and they've been adding some good pitching depth now. So, how did Skeens do game 1 against the Mets? My power went out.
Great question, Eddie.
Yes, that was.
I watched some of that.
O'Neill Cruz's power go out? Did his
his controller got unplugged, man.
Yeah, that's why ERA is a little. I don't know, because that's an error on Cruz. Like that's just like what are we doing here?
Yeah,
but it's not officially an error because he didn't touch the ball. But I'm in on the Pirates. I'm in on the Pirates. I like the pitching, of course, with Skeens. Mitch Keller has been good this season. Even the under the hood stuff has been fine. Braxton Ashcraft has been like the best pitcher in baseball under the hood. He has a 1.69, nice FIP, which that's great. Majinski has been great. Bubba Chandler has been a little worse. Has the most walks in the National League, and the bullpen. Yeah, it's a little sketchy, and I don't trust Soto, Ramirez, Matson, and Santana to all have ERAs that start with a 1. The rest of the season, I watched the game against the Cubs that Yohan Ramirez was actively sabotaging the Pirates. He just kept walking guys and walking guys and walking guys and walking guys, but he would get out of it. So I don't think a 4.5 walk per 9 is going to sustain, but I do think the strikeouts are there. And Soto gets strikeouts. He's punched out about 30% of batter's face. Ramirez, about 30% of batter's face. Justin Lawrence has been tattooed otherwise, but about 30% of batter's face. He struck out. So there's value to getting the strikeout, and you can live with some walks. So is it going to be a high wire act bullpen? Yes, but I think they have enough veteran moxie and enough, like they feel better than they should be. Mason Montgomery has 16 strikeouts and 36 batters faced, by the way. I know he's allowed some earned runs, he allowed a homer. So it's not all sunshine and roses, but I do like the Pirates. Brandon Lau has fit in perfectly to PNC Park. He's been great. Brian Reynolds is hitting again. O'Neill Cruz. Yes, we can talk about the defense. It's horrible. I get it. The man is hitting the ball in the air to the pole side. He is here. He is him. And it's unbelievable. He's arrived. Ryan O'Hearn has been good this season. At some point, I think Connor Griffin's going to hit. At some point, I think Marcell Ozuna is not going to have a negative OPS plus. I think it's going to eventually get his slugging into the 2s at least. So it's bad for Ozuna, but I think the Big Bear can answer back at some point.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid here. The offensive additions outside of Ozuna, Brandon Lau's been excellent. Ryan O'Hearn also excellent. Look, even if those guys come back to earth, look, I don't know if Brandon Lau is going to have a 197 OPS plus all year. Maybe Ryan O'Hearn's probably more like a 130-ish guy, but even so, that is a huge upgrade over what they had last year. They had the worst offense in the National League last year. Their pitching staff has already been good, and Jared Jones is about to start his rehab assignment. So when you get Jones back, you're looking at a pitching staff that includes Skeens, Keller, Jones, Chandler, and Ashcroft, and you moved like Mlodzinski to the bullpen. Like, that is an elite pitching staff. You can talk about the concerns with the bullpen. I kind of agree there. But Dennis Santana, I think, is still good. He's a leverage guy. So with the weaknesses that the Cubs and Brewers are showing and the injuries piling up there, I think the Pirates 100% are contenders. And look, I think they could crack the playoffs this year.
I don't think it's impossible that they do. Like I said, you give them a little bit of bullpen help at the midway point of the season. Give them maybe a little bit of defense help. I think they could very easily win it here. I do think, though, I'm actually on the same train as XYZ Ballin. I think it's either going to be the Cubs or the Brewers, personally. Let's move over now to your guys' division, the NL East. The Braves are in first place at 11-7 record here. Mac, your Mets, the inverse of that at 7-11. Great Slurpees. Gentlemen, pretender or contender? I want to hear from you guys.
I'll go first here. The Braves offense is legit. Their pitching staff, I don't know. But I will say this much. I did pick the Braves to get a wild card spot. They're a contender in that way. I don't know if they're going to sustain this world-beating pace right now, but I would not call them a pretender. All right. There was no way that last year was going to repeat. With all the nonsense going on their roster. The Braves are legit. All right. There's no way around it. I think they're definitely better than the Phillies. The Mets, I have to see what the Mets are at full strength because there's also no way the Mets are going to hit as poorly as they have been all year. So look, I think, the Braves are contenders.
Yep, fair enough.
I'm obviously going to say the Braves are contenders. I think they are, playing up to the talent level. I think we all know they have. The team as a whole is. There are individual players we can quibble with. Riley is not going to have a 62 OPS plus for the season. Ronald's not going to have a 98 for the season. On the flip side, Big Dom is not going to hit 400.
Dom Smith.
Yeah, Dom Smith's not going to hit 400. It feels like he's going to. He's not going to. I know that. Or Mauricio Dubon's not going to have a 911 OPS. But at the same time, I think we haven't seen the best out of Chris Sale yet. He had a start that he was sick in. He got ambushed in Anaheim with a bunch of not ambushed, but he sabotaged himself with a bunch of walks and hit by pitches and whatnot. And at some point, in theory, you'll get Strider back. He should be back at the first part of May. At some point, you get Schwellenbach back, and I think he's even better than Strider. And man, this bullpen is something special. This is sort of like what the Padres had last year. Of course, you have the common thread of Robert Suarez. You don't have Mason Miller throwing 104 to close the door, but Raisel Iglesias has been perfect so far this season. Dylan Lee is a great left-handed reliever. Tyler Kinley has been a godsend. Like, I don't know what Alex Anthopoulos did last July, but he summoned Tyler Kinley, and he's been unbelievable as a Brave. Robert Suarez throws 100. He was the first Braves bullpen arm throwing 100 in like 15 years. I can't believe it. Everyone throws 100 besides the Braves, basically. But I really like the bullpen. I think the starting pitching is getting reinforcements, and the offense, it'll be a different shape of the production. I think Riley's going to hit at some point. Yaz had a hit today. He's going to hit better than a 196 average. Ronald is going to get going a little bit. Dom is going to come down. Dubon's going to come down. Baldwin's going to come down. Olson's going to come down. Although, hey, I would love an odd year Matt Olson. I'll take it. 54 home runs. Sure. He's leading the league in doubles. I think that could sustain. He did so last year too, but I think this is just an uber talented team. And it's been fun to see the goofy, the non-traditional sources, we'll say, of this Braves run, the Dom Smiths, the Jorge Mateos, Mauricio Dubon, they're coming through. While Riley's been struggling, Ronald's been struggling. Shout out to Michael Harris. having a child, Michael Harris III. Congratulations. Drake Baldwin, he's awesome, man. So I'm all in on the Braves. I'm back. So is Austin Riley overrated or just injured the last couple of years?
At this point, I don't even know if I can call him overrated because I feel like people are sort of acknowledging what he is. At this point.
I'll pull up the StatCast page. Doesn't look all that bad. Like it's not ideal, but he still hits the ball hard. I like the process with Riley other than swinging at sliders. Like the bat speed's still there. The strikeout rate is not bad. The walk rate is not bad. The defense has been pleasantly solid this season. I'll take it. So if he wants to turn into Brooks Robinson, you know what? Fine. As long as it doesn't turn into Key Brian Hayes at the stick, fine.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at here too, the overall with the Braves. I can't in good conscience call them pretenders because they are a very talented team. And now we're starting to see, even on top of things, that they're not one-dimensional here. Like I think a lot of people's criticism of the team was you have Ronald Acuna, and that was it. Now you're starting to see that a lot of the other pieces are really coming to fruition. Drake Baldwin is looking like one of the best catchers in the game. Here, Austin Riley is maybe a bit overrated, but is still hitting the ball hard. Here, you still have Michael Harris, now having Michael Harris the third, so now you got that big dad energy going to be happening here. And the bullpen, like you said, has been surprisingly good here. So I can't call them pretenders, but I don't know if they're going to finish number one here. I don't know if they will win the division. I still think the Mets have it. Like, are they in last place? Yes. Yeah, they are. They're 7-11 record, but that's only 4 games below 500. I still think they are the most talented team in that division. But again, we're 18 games into the season. So long way still to go. I still think the Braves have a very, very big chance here. And I still think they will probably take a wild card spot with how well they're playing if they could just keep it going a little bit more. Let's move on to the American League side of things. Here, we will start in the East this time. The Tampa Bay Rays are your American League East division leaders at a 9-7 record. Gentlemen, contender or pretender?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yep.
They are contenders, my friend. I'm going to explain this the best way I can. You can go to your buddy's house and spend the night a couple times. Maybe it's a nicer house than you, right? Or maybe you go to your family's house, like you go to your grandparents' house and they have a big house and it's nice to spend the holidays there. But there is something special about going home. And the Rays are back home. The Rays are in the Trop where that's their home. And they are playing like they love it there. And there's something in the air here. I'm going to start with Chandler Simpson. He's hitting 407. Is that going to sustain? I don't really care. He's so much fun to watch. He leads the league in hits. He leads the league in triples. He leads the league majors in batting average. And he, guess what, can defend his position. Can you believe it? I had this conversation with myself at work. Yes, I'm a psychopath. If Chandler Simpson has a hit tool and a field tool, he is a 3-win player or a 4-win player. If he can't field, we got a problem here. It's sort of the Luis Ariz effect. But that red is bright red. The expected batting average is really high because his batted ball quality, I mentioned this with Justin Crawford when I said he was going to win NL Rookie of the Year, the batted ball quality, when he's hitting ground balls the opposite way, those are good outcomes for him. He doesn't need to lift the ball. He doesn't need to pull a Junior Caminero. Eventually he's going to figure it out. He needs to hit the ball on the ground the other way and run to first base and cause chaos and tell Yankees second baseman to forget the rules of the game he's playing. He is mind-bendingly fast. He has been spectacular defensively this season. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't. Do I like that he chases everything? No. The chase rate isn't actually that bad this season. Do I like that he doesn't walk a lot? No. But he hits good batted balls for his profile. In this world of everyone is the same, everyone's 3 true outcomes, I love it. Chandler Simpson would be the worst player in baseball if he was only allowed to hit home runs, walk, and strike out. He would be the worst. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't try to hit home runs. He doesn't try to walk. He tries to avoid strikeouts. He hits ground balls the other way. He hits little line drives the other way. It's great. And I think the Braves being good is good for baseball. And I think Junior Caminero, 714 OPS, it'll be better than that. Taylor Walls at 772. That's not happening. Sorry. Jonathan Aranda, 719. I think it'll be better than that. Yandy Diaz has been hitting like crazy. So I think that maybe not a 191 OPS plus, but I think he'll hit 300. And Aranda is going to hit around 300. And Caminero is going to hit 40 homers. And Simpson's going to hit 300. And maybe Cedric Mullins plays a little bit better. Or maybe you get the Kevin Cash platoon stuff and you get shenanigans, and all of a sudden you have like a 102 OPS plus as a team. I think that can happen, and they can really pitch. Nick Martinez has been good this season. Steven Matz has been fine for them. Drew Rasmussen has a sub-3 ERA for his career. It is insane. Shane McClanahan, welcome back, buddy. Griffin Jacks, can we figure it out? Not just for me, but for genuinely, actually, just for me. Just selfishly, I don't want to finish last in the WAR draft because I have a -1 WAR reliever. So I think the Rays, am I saying they're going to win the World Series or anything? But no, but I think they are. I think they will be a playoff team. As of right now, I think the vibes are great.
One thing I want to bring up here just real quick here, from the chart that you just had here for his Savant page, he has 2 triples without having a single double yet. And I think that just shows that's really funny, but it shows his speed so extremely well here that if he puts something into the gap, it's not a double, it's going to be a triple. If he puts something down the line, it's not a double or a long single for some hitters, it is a triple. Like, I think that's amazing.
Austin Riley went yard while we were recording, by the way. So
very nice.
We're back, baby. We're back. We're winning everything. We're winning the Super Bowl. We're winning the Constructors Cup. We're winning the NBA Finals. Screw the Knicks. We're winning the Stanley Cup. Screw the Sabres. We're winning everything, man.
All right. I'll go next here, and this is gonna sound kind of weird here, but I'm going to say Pretenders, just for the sole fact of I don't know who to root for in this division. I don't know who is going to pull out from this division. We were talking about how stacked this division would be, that any team except for the Orioles could win the division. Now, all the teams look mortal. Like the Rays, they're the leading team of the division and 2 games above 500. The Yankees have not looked like the Yankees because they've looked like Ben Rice and Friend. They have the Orioles are looking like the Orioles. The Blue Jays have looked nothing like they were in last season. And the Red Sox, I think, are some people's biggest surprise right now in the fact that they've just not figured any of it out. Here, they have been bad here. So I'm saying the Rays are pretenders, but really, I think it's because at this point now, we're not going to see more than one playoff team from this. If anything like this keeps going, right? Which, by the way, again, remember, still 140 games left to go. But if these are the storylines that we're seeing, this may be the first year in a minute that we see only one AL East team in the playoffs. Well, who will that team be? I don't know. Like right now, no team is playing like they want to win. Like even the Rays at only 2 games above 500. The Baltimore Orioles right now are playing almost as good, and that's really weird to think about here. So I'll say pretenders, but that's only because I think there's only one team that's going to make it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a tough one because I think their offense is going to regress a bit. It's weird I say that because, like Splash was saying, their best hitters, I mean, Junior Caminero, Jonathan Aranda, those guys have not started really hitting yet. Is Chandler Simpson going to hit over 400? I don't know. It's weird because his average exit velocity is 79. But he could be like, when D. Gordon won the batting title when he was with the Marlins. He batted 330 without, he hit 2 home runs that year. Their bullpen has been a complete disaster. You look at that bullpen, there's one guy who's pitched well so far, Hunter Bidgie, and he's pitched in 5 games. Baker is the closer for now, I guess. The 4-2. Griffin Jackson's got an ERA over 8. Kevin Kelly's an ERA close to 8. Mason Englert's ERA is over 9. I think the pitching staff is going to improve. The offense is going to regress a bit. I'm going to say probably pretender on the division part, but I think they are a contender in the fact that they're going to be battling for a wild card spot.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, that's really fair. Let's move on to the Central here. And I think this is the biggest pretender that any of us can go out here as the Minnesota Twins are your current division leaders at 11-7, and the answer is no, they are not real, Ralph. They are not a real baseball team. They are the pretenders that as much of a pretender as you could possibly have here. Like, I'm sorry to all the people that think that the Twins are going to make history or something like this. No, it's not happening. I'm sorry. Sorry to burst the bubble here, but the Twins will lose pretty darn soon.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy. Also, they got shelled today by the Red Sox. I know they destroyed the Red Sox the first 2 games of the series, but they did get beat up pretty badly today. I believe it was 9-1. At least it was 9-1 when I was checking the score earlier today. The Twins they're pretenders. Maybe they won't be as bad as the White Sox this year, like we all predicted, but like this team will not make it further. I mean, the thing is, they got that 4-game sweep of the Tigers. The Tigers have all of a sudden remembered how to play baseball again. If the Tigers remember how to play baseball, they're winning the division. All right. And the Guardians will conjure up something to win enough games. I'm sorry to any Twins fans. I know you guys are a great fan base, but pretenders 100%.
Are we underestimating the ability for the Pollards to no ball?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm on the pretender side. Is it a nice story? Yes. Is it good for teams to have good stretches? Yes. Do I like that Byron Buxton is healthy and playing baseball games? Yes, I love that. There's some troubling stuff here. I will say the pitching is kind of a little underperformed. They're their FIP. They have a 4+ ERA and a 3.78 FIP, so that's good. They have a walk rate that's okay, a strikeout rate that's okay. Taj Bradley is breaking out, I guess. He has a 1.25 ERA, 3 runs in 21 innings, so he's been great. Mick Abel has pitched pretty well, all things considered. He's striking out 10 per 9. You like to see that. And do I think Ryan Jeffers is going to have a 172 OPS plus? No. Austin Martin 145? No. Josh Bell 140? No. But he should be fine. Matt Wallner is not going to be the worst hitter in baseball. Luke Keeschel, as much as I give him crap, is going to be better than a 70 OPS plus. But I think this team is more like a 70-win team in the 70s, between 70 and 79, as opposed to like a 60-win team that I thought. And the White Sox, I will take the L on that one. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, okay, the White Sox, they're going to be plucky. You bring in Murakami, you have Colson Montgomery, you're going to call up the catchers, you're going to call up the lefties, and they just have crashed and burned and been a disaster. The Twins are better than that. I'll give them that. I think they finished 4th, but yeah, that's about that.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think it's a good story for the Twins. I just don't think it's sustainable what they've got going on right now. Let's move on to my division, American League West. I'm starting this one here. The A's are pretenders. They are a good team. Yes, they are not winning this division. I am sorry. Right now, they are currently tied with the Texas Rangers at a 9-8 record. This entire division is within 2.5 games of itself. Here, this could still go any direction. I still find it immensely funny that we had the Seattle Mariners versus the Houston Astros, the team with the worst OPS and the worst ERA going up against each other. And which team won that? Oh, yeah, Seattle Mariners sweep. That was fantastic to watch. I loved that. But the Athletics, I like them. They are a good team. I don't think they are going to win this division. Honestly, it's still up for grabs. But I personally still think the Mariners are going to make it out here, considering that the Mariners have an 8-10 record, and most of their star players haven't hit the ball. So let's go with that.
Yeah, I'm going to knock out both these teams here. A's and Rangers. Going to be completely honest, both pretenders. I want to believe in the A's. I really, really want to believe in the A's. They're, I just watched them sweep my Mets over the weekend. They took the last 2 in the Bronx too, so they won 5 in a row in New York. Their offense hasn't even clicked yet, and they're over 500. Their pitching staff is going to come down to earth. All right, there's no way Jeffrey Springs is a 1.46 ERA guy, or Aaron Chevalier is 1.72, or their bullpen outside of Mark Leiter and Elvis Alvarado has been pretty good. That's going to regress. Nick Kurtz looks like he's just getting going. He's leading the majors in walks despite hitting 200. So there's that. The Rangers, their offense just doesn't do it for me. The pitching staff, look, Mackenzie Gore's looked strong. Jacob deGrom has looked like Jacob deGrom for the most part. But these guys are both pretenders. I don't see either of them cracking the postseason. But I think they're going to be one of those teams that will hang around until late in the summer. But also they're going to face a tough decision around the trade deadline on whether to buy or sell.
Absolutely.
Fellas, it's time. Yeah, I think the Mariners should win the division. It's April in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
No one can hit. This is like, why do I pick Julio to win the MVP every year? He's going to have the worst April you've ever seen. Josh Naylor had a couple home runs the other night. You get the big sweep over the mop, in fact, over the Astros. So that's a big boost for them. The Astros are cooked. Put them in the garbage. Yeah. So I think Seattle still wins the division. So unfortunately, that means for the segment, I'm saying the A's and Rangers are pretenders, but I would take the Rangers over the Mariners in a playoff series because of my priors.
Yeah, you can say that. That's fine.
Yes.
I'll disagree, but I can understand it though. Anyway, let us know what you guys think here. You can leave a comment here, or you could go and tell us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it here, at LAR_baseball. Are there any pretenders that you think are actually contenders, and vice versa? We would love to know. We'd love to hear from you. And also thank you to everyone who has been in the chat so far today. It has been a lot of fun already interacting with you all. But now it is time for everyone's favorite segment. It is trivia time. And per our last episode here, Mac defeated me in Splash's trivia. So now, Mac, you are today's trivia host. So I hand things off to you.
All right, so today is Jackie Robinson Day, April 15th. So today we are all wearing 42. I have a trivia question. I have 9 players who wore the number 42, and you have to tell me what team they wore number 42 for. If we come to a tiebreaker, that's why I have 9 players. You can, if you really want to be ambitious and say this player didn't wear number 42, you can do that. You're going to be wrong, but so anyway, that's today's trivia. Any questions here? So I'm going to tell you a player and you have to tell me what team they wore number 42 for.
Okay. I feel like
sounds good.
Yep.
All right.
All of them. All 30.
All right. I'm thinking of a number between 130. Alex, tell me what number it is.
24.
All right, Splash.
12.
The correct answer is 14. So, Splash, do you want to receive or do you want to defer?
I will receive the kickoff.
All right.
Are you sure you don't want the wind?
Can I defer to the second half? We want the ball. We're going to score. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Splash. Your player, Bruce Sutter. What team did he wear number 42 for?
The St. Louis Cardinals.
That's correct. He actually wore the number 42 for 3 teams: Cards, Braves, and Cubs. So all 3 teams he played for, he wore number 42. So congrats, you are on the board. All right, Alex. Player is Mike Mussina. What number? What team did he wear number 42 for?
I'm trying to remember. I think Mussina was with the Royals.
What team?
The Royals?
Oh, so close yet so far. Mike Mussina never played for the Royals.
Darn.
He wore it for the Orioles in his rookie year.
Oh, right.
1991.
Oh, my gosh, got moves. Okay. I don't know. I think I'm not going to say that I mistook it for Mike Moustakas, but that was, I think, what was driving my mind there.
It's the alliteration. I get it.
Yeah.
They're both named
and also
Moose.
the Moose and Moose.
All right. So Splash has a 1-0 lead. Back to him.
Okay.
Your player, a very instrumental player to the game, Kurt Flood.
I'm going to say the Philadelphia Phillies.
Incorrect. He never played for the Phillies. The correct answer, that was the whole free agent thing. He refused to report. He wore it for the Cardinals. He wore number 42.
I would have said Marlins, so you're good.
You're thinking of Cliff Floyd, I think.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Same initials. Yeah. All right. Alex, your player, Mo Vaughn, 1995 MVP. Just give me a team. Yeah, correct. He wore it for 3 different teams: Angels, Red Sox, and Mets. So
I don't know why I always remember him as an Angel.
He can't win no flipping games, right? Is that what he said?
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Mo Vaughn
Albert Bell deserved that MVP, by the way.
He did, yes. Mo Vaughn was in Backyard Baseball 2001.
That's why I know him as an Angel. So, that's why. Yep.
Yeah.
And I like how you guys are able to mind read me at this point.
For some reason, the Mets traded Kevin Apier to get him, even though he barely played. Look, the one thing he did was hit a ball 505 feet when he was a Met. One of the most iconic home runs in a game, a home run that was completely meaningless, but it went 505 feet.
That's so incredible, man.
All right, back to Splash. You guys are tied 1-1. Your player is Omar Vizquel. What team did Omar Vizquel wear number 42?
Oh, brother. Okay. I'm going to try to logic this out. So they retired it universally in 97. So it would likely be a team he played with before 1997. So that would be Cleveland and Seattle. I'm going to say he came up with the M's wearing 42.
That's correct.
Yes.
He did. And then he ended up wearing number 13 for basically the rest of his career, other than a couple, stray stops with the White Sox and the Blue Jays. But yes, he primarily wore number 13, came up wearing number 42. So that gives you the lead back. I'm going to go to Alex here, and I realize I may have messed things up here because this guy was Splash's pitching coach, or Splash's team's pitching coach for a while. Roger McDowell, relief pitcher. What team did he wear number 42 for?
I think he was on the Yankees. This is before Mo, right?
You had the right city, but he wore it for the Mets.
Okay.
So you had the right idea there. Roger McDowell was a world champion with the Mets and then had an extensive career as a pitching coach for the Braves, at least when I was growing up. So, all right, Splash, you maintain your lead. Over to you. We got a former MVP here, Bobby Shantz. What team did he wear number 42 for?
I'm going to roll with the Philadelphia A's.
That is incorrect, and I can't blame you for this one. He wore it for the Houston Colt 45s, whom he only appeared in 3 games for. So,
okay, man.
Wow. That is, if there's going to be any ever proof of collusion against Splash, that is going to be the clip that is used.
That is diabolical.
Watch it now. Matt's going to say, "All right, your player is Mariano Rivera."
You know what I should do? You could do a modern player, and it could be they wear 42 every Jackie Robinson
exactly,
day.
Yeah.
Actually, what I should do the next time I win trivia. Every player with one MLB plate appearance, you have to guess what they did in that plate appearance.
I would hate you for that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah. Do you guys know that Matt Tupman, MLB
idea.
Power Pros legend, 1 at bat, 1 hit? Yes, sir.
All right. Alex, here's a slightly more modern player guy. I'm assuming Splash is sort of familiar with. Steve Avery. What team did he wear number 42 for?
I have never heard that name. I'm going to say the Barbs then.
That's correct. It is the Braves.
Thank you for giving me that one, as you said Splash would do this one.
Yes, Steve Avery wore 42 for the Braves.
I better get Archie Vaughn next, buddy.
Not very long. Well, here's the thing is that you guys are tied at 2, and there is 1 player left. So what we're going to do here is you guys are going to DM me. Or I'm going to tell you what player it is, and then you're going to tell me what team you think this guy wore 42 for. So your player, another pretty solid pitcher back in the day, Jason Schmidt. What team did he wear number 42 for? I want you guys to you can message me in Discord, you can text me. It's completely up to you how you want to tell me who do you think he wore.
Can you say the name one more time, please?
Jason Schmidt.
Jason Schmidt.
You missed the golden opportunity to say Archie Vaughn because I believe he wore 42 in Pittsburgh. But I need to cross-check that. I know he wore 21 at one point, so they should probably double retire it for Vaughn. Oh, it was 21. My bad, just 21.
All right. I have DM'd my answer.
All right. So the answers I got were the Giants and the Athletics. The correct answer was the Pirates. So you are both wrong, unfortunately. But I have one more tiebreaker, and it revolves around the man himself, Jackie Robinson.
Okay.
I want you guys to tell me what we're gonna do closest to the pin here. Give me Jackie Robinson's career OPS, and yes, that does include his 1 year with the Kansas City Monarchs.
Okay.
Text
and it's gonna be another DM situation for you.
Yes, again.
Okay.
Okay. I have DM'd my answer.
Sure.
All right.
I think I might have undershot a little bit.
All right. So the answers I got were Splash 839, Alex 896. Correct answer was 887.
Wow.
So
Okay,
Alex,
good job, Alex.
You are the winner. Jackie Robinson, excellent baseball player. And the crazy part about this, that was maybe his fourth best sport. He was outstanding at track and field and football. He was just an insane athlete overall. And yeah, he was a great baseball player. So yeah, congrats, Alex. And that means you get to do trivia next week.
Yay! I'm surprised it did not take that long for me to actually win trivia.
There you go.
Definitely no collusion at all. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Yeah.
Oh, we got a question of the day question for next week. Top 3 best foods. I know Alex is not going to have eggs on his list.
There's a lot of foods I'm not going to have on my list.
That's a good point. There's a lot of foods
I'm not going to have on my list. So fellas, maybe we use this for
we'll save this for next week.
Next week, yeah.
Are you familiar with the it's a Trinidadian sandwich. It comes with shark on it.
What?
Yes.
I want to try this now.
Yeah, I've had shark before. I had it in Iceland. Shout out to Iceland. Yeah, it's called a bacon shark. The bread is a bake, and the shark is a shark. It looks like this.
Huh. That's.
You know what? I want to try that.
I think it has pineapple on it, or you can put pineapple on it.
That looks really good. Like I would eat that 100%.
Yeah.
Is that fried? Is it?
Yeah.
It looks battered. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm 100% in on that then.
Yeah. A fast food, fried flatbread, shark meat, and additional ingredients. So yeah.
All right. There you go. Eddie, we'll do that next week for question of the day.
Yeah.
Someone make a reminder.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, it's now time for our final segment, the moment to ourselves. We take a moment to talk about anything that's on our mind. It does not have to be baseball related, but it absolutely can be. Splash, you are manifested to go first. So Mac, we'll go to you. No. So Splash, go ahead first, man. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, begin.
The best part about being a baseball fan or any sort of sports fan is when you have a generational player playing at a generational level. Lamar Jackson, Ronald Acuna for me. But second to that, and a very, very close second, is when the random person, the random reliever, random infielder, random utility player, random running back, when they are just in a groove. And right now, it's Dom Smith and Mauricio Dubon. These guys, Dubon wasn't a Brave until December. Dom Smith wasn't a Brave until spring training. But I think every time they come up to the bat, come up to the plate, if a guy's on second, I am confident they are scoring. Last night, I'm getting ready for work, and Dom's up at the dish, bases loaded, down 2, and I'm like, all right. My first thought, because I'm conditioned as a Braves fan, all right, we're going to get Ronald up in the 9th. It's guaranteed, no matter what happens, unless someone gets picked off. And then I thought, well, actually, no, Dom could hit a grand slam or hit a bases clearing double, and then Ronald wouldn't have to come up in the 9th anyways, because we win the game in the top of the 9th. And that's exactly what happened because Dom Smith is the greatest player of all time. He is on such a heater right now. It is unbelievable. Yes, I know he's going to hit like 220 the rest of the year. I don't care. It is so much fun watching players play above their skis. And it's so great for Dom Smith. Man, he had some good times with the Mets. He was good with the Giants last year. And he's not going to continue a 200 OPS plus, but man, he deserves it. He lost his mom just before the season, and it's just like an unspeakable like tragedy. And he's like wore his heart on his sleeve the entire season. The team's rallied around him, and this has been such a fun Braves team to watch. It's firing on all cylinders. The defense is so good. The relief pitching, besides Aaron Bummer, has been really good, and besides Jose Suarez, has been really good. The starting pitching has been perfectly fine. The offense has been some weird sources. Like I said, it's Dom Smith, Mauricio Dubon, Jorge Mateo hit a home run off James McCann. But man, it's just been so much fun to watch. It's nice to have that friend back in your life. Watch baseball 150 times a year. So go Braves.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Dom Smith. I know he's doing it for a division rival, but like Dom Smith he was such a great guy in New York. I really wish things worked out better for him in New York because, like I said, I genuinely enjoyed having him here. He was great I thought he was great for the team. He showed a ton of potential on the field, but he's a great guy off the field. And seeing him seemingly find a home here, like I said, I know it's also in the NL East, but like it's so nice to see a guy like that ball out. I mean, really, it can't happen to a better guy, in my opinion. I mean, he's a super nice dude, super humble, and it's cool to see him sort of break out again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, Mac, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go?
You can go.
All right, sounds good. Someone count me down.
All right, hang on. Let me get my stopwatch. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so WrestleMania is this weekend. Sorry, Gigi. WrestleMania is this weekend. I'm going to go over my predictions here for each of the matches. Night one's card, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Night Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knights. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Night Show Speed win, but only because Paul and Theory destroy one of the Usos and throw I Show Speed onto, I'm going to say Jimmy Uso, even though he does not want to be any part of this. It is very, very funny. He just kind of keeps finding himself in this position. Here, he will get the pin somehow. Unsanctioned match, Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre wins. Please give him another WrestleMania win. He deserves it after not getting to carry the title into it. Sammy Vacuur versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. I will have Liv Morgan winning this one. Actually, you know what? No, Sammy Vacuur. Give her big moment here because Liv Morgan, we need to have something go on with the Judgment Day where everyone is at their absolute lowest. That'll go into something for later. Women's Intercontinental Championship, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Have Becky win it. You already had the big moment of AJ Lee coming back and getting her win here. Have Becky get back the title here, and then you can have potentially a Becky Lynch versus Io Sky feud. That would be fun. Here, the Women's Tag Championship. It's the 4-team tag here, and I have on this one Nia Jax and Lash Legend continuing on a good heel run and winning it there. Also, turning into later on will be a Bayley and Lyra Valkyria feud. Seth Rollins v. Gunther. Give Gunther the win. He has been the fall guy the last couple of WrestleManias, which makes sense. He's the big bad guy. Give him a win here. He deserves another one. You want to keep him strong. And then the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with the help of Pat McAfee. I wish I was joking when I said that. Here, Randy Orton's going to win this, get his 15th. Then let Cody Rhodes go and heal for a little bit. Bro's been working so hard. WrestleMania Night 2, Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. For the love of everything, have Oba Femi win. You do not have Brock Lesnar win this match. Please, just do not. Here, Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Javon Evans wins this. Give the bouncy man his WrestleMania debut win. That would be a lot of fun. Women's Championship, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. I have Cargill winning by disqualification, as Rhea Ripley will beat the absolute ever-loving tar out of Jade Cargill to the point where it will involve weapons, and Rhea's going to get herself disqualified because Jade Cargill went after Io Sky. United States Championship, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. I love you, Sami. I love you so much, but Trick is winning this one. He is so absolutely over right now. Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Finn Balor, give him a pay-per-view win. He's not won on at a PLE in 2 years. Let him have one, please. And then the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Have Punk win it. The man deserves his WrestleMania win. Please let him have this. And then you have Roman Reigns going and doing the other feuds here. Maybe have him try and recruit Solo Sikoa or something. I'm not sure. But that's my predictions for WrestleMania. We'll see how they turn out by next week.
Yeah, I mean, that first matchup, I mean, I was.
Yeah, I saw you guys laughing, and I'm like,
you said the name, so I was like, wait, what?
Yes, I Show Speed.
Why is I Show
this.
Speed doing okay? And that's okay.
So let me kind of brief. I'll go very, very brief on this.
Yeah,
I Show Speed has been involved with wrestling since 2025.
Yeah.
Where he made his appearance in the Royal Rumble and got absolutely destroyed by Braun Breaker.
Of course, yeah.
And he's only part of this because the Vision, which is the faction with Paul and Austin Theory, are missing a few of their members. And they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we already have one annoying YouTuber. Let's have another one.
Okay, great idea. I saw a dude who looked a lot like Logan Paul on my train recently, and I was like,
yeah, it's called Jake Paul.
No, it wasn't Jake Paul, but like it was. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's it's quite the combination, though. Especially I don't know what Pat McAfee's doing there, but Pat McAfee ends up everywhere.
Pat McAfee has been the most annoying heel for the last 2 weeks, and it is honestly funny at this point. But I also absolutely hate it. Like he has in my personal opinion, he has no right to be part of this WrestleMania end bit. But that's if it works, it works. But for me, it doesn't work. All right, Mac, you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
I need to talk about what a disaster this LA ticket drawing is for the Olympics. So the drawing opened last week. If you register, you get your time slots. My parents' time slot opened before mine. Mine opened on Sunday. By the time they opened, most of the inventory was basically cleared out. Obviously, you guys know swimming and diving, that's a lifestyle in our household. $1,100 just to see prelims for swimming. And remind you, this is not just, trying to get it for me or just my parents. It's trying to get, my brother, my nephew, his wife, it's not going to be worth paying $10,000 to go to one singular day, one singular event, or one singular session of the Olympics. Swimming inventory is actually sold out entirely. By the time my time slot came on Sunday, I didn't even bother logging in because we even tried looking. All right, let's go find another sport, looking maybe track and field or something, and it's basically impossible. Impossible to find anything. So hopefully this gets resolved. Resale is supposedly not going to start until 2027, which sucks. But they need to fix this. We finally get the Olympics on American soil, and it's going to be almost impossible for the average American family to go. So, yeah, I hope this gets fixed. I would love to go and watch the Olympics. I mean, I have a brother who lives in Southern California. And right now, it's impossible. It looks like it's going to be impossible for us to go. So hopefully this all gets resolved. Hopefully the resale market normalizes some things, but nobody in their right mind will be paying $1,100 to go see one event. So, yeah, I hope this all gets resolved.
I feel the same way about the World Cup. Like the cheapest ticket, it's like $250 to get into the stadium. And you're going to be in the nosebleeds at an NFL stadium, and you're not watching, even the U.S. or Mexico or
the American matches are like insanely.
Yeah, don't
it's
even
the most
bother.
Expensive ticket.
Yeah. Mexico tickets are unbelievable.
Yeah.
But like if you want to see, with all due respect, like a halfway decent team, like a team that could win the World Cup, you're shelling out probably $1,000 just to get in the room, and that doesn't even include. Like I would have to travel because I don't live in Atlanta right now. I don't live in Philly or Seattle or San Francisco or wherever they're hosting these events. And it's just the American sports. I know this is a global thing, the Olympics and the World Cup, but American sports in particular have just priced out the average fan. Like the Super Bowl is not meant for fans. It's meant for bigwigs, right? It was
celebrities.
It was in Santa Clara, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a random fan going to the game. It's not a Seahawks fan or a Patriots fan going to the game. It's the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, they have enough money to go to games, or the Warriors. Steph and Draymond could go to the game, or when they have it in Atlanta again, it could be the guys on the Hawks, guys on the Braves. Ronald Acuna could pull up. Ronald Acuna was in the halftime show.
He was.
Yeah,
yes,
quite
he
literally.
was.
Like it's just insane, and it sucks. And I get it that it's so easy to consume sports, and we've had our quibbles with how to get the sports. I tried to watch Bayern versus Real Madrid today. Had to use Paramount Plus. I don't have Paramount Plus. No one in my family has Paramount Plus, so I just had to watch the.
I don't even have
Spanish.
that. Like it's.
Yeah, I had to watch the Spanish telecast. Okay, but it just. I get it. It's so accessible. It's so you can see the clips on social media. It's very generally easy to get to these things like on your phone or on your laptop. But it sucks that there's so many like memories my dad has. My dad went to the 94 World Cup in the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit, or in Pontiac, not Detroit, in Pontiac. But like I'm not going to get to go. And I'm like a grown adult. I'm not going to give up a paycheck or two to maybe see 5 seconds of a World Cup match. Right. I'm not. And that's before flying down to Atlanta or flying to Philly or elsewhere. That's before getting a hotel. And even in Atlanta, I could say with my dad, in theory, imagine the Uber, a 45-minute Uber.
Yeah,
World Cup,
that
might be more expensive than the ticket itself. That might be $500.
Well, and speaking of transportation, I didn't even mention New Jersey Transit is charging like $100 for the shuttle from MetLife to Secaucus or something. Like it's. And they're closing. I'm gonna save everyone from this, but they're closing Penn Station during the World Cup games at MetLife. That's just a crime. I hope nobody plans on traveling in and out of New York Penn Station during the World Cup because you will not be able to.
Yep, sounds about right.
I want to say the Braves are in town that week.
I believe. I know one of the weekends the Mets are in Philly.
Okay,
so.
Maybe not. Okay, I guess I didn't write those down, but man, I get it. It's going to be easy. I could probably watch I don't know how many games are in the World Cup because they expanded it. I don't know how many. I could probably watch all of them. Pretty straightforward. And Eddie, it's from June 11th through July 19th. But it's just so, you take so much of the fun out of it. You're not going to have a generation of fans going. It's going to be, professional athletes. It's going to be celebrities. It's going to be, who's not showing up to the games? The fans of those teams. There's a Turkish place down the street from us. I don't remember if Turkey made the World Cup or not, but that's not the point. But if he wanted to go to a World Cup game, that is thousands of dollars to potentially see Turkey. That's just insane. And that's just not like sports are meant to be for the fans. And nowadays it's meant for the dollar signs. And you don't even get the Mercedes-Benz branding. It's Atlanta Stadium, or Mercedes-Benz stays because of how the stadium is configured, but it's like New York, New Jersey Stadium, not MetLife.
That's a crime.
That is absolutely a crime.
At least Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta gets to stay because they can't adjust the ceiling of the stadium has the Mercedes-Benz logo when it closes. They can't screw with that because that's like architecture. They can say, oh, it's not MetLife Stadium, it's New York, New Jersey Stadium because it's not covered with Snoopy.
Yeah. I'll add on a little bit to this as well. Wrestling's been the same way here, and it's actually been a plot point for a little bit that the tickets for WrestleMania have been horrible. Have been not being sold almost basically at all right now because the prices are way too high. For one ticket at like the worst possible area of it for both nights, it is $1,200 to watch.
Yeah, it's a
people to watch scripted entertainment. Which, by the way, I get that. That's fine, but the pricing is way too much for that. If to the point where they've been actually for the first time ever doing sales on the ticket prices here, where they're like up to 30% off, 40% off. Like at this point now, you're just trying to get even like a 25% capacity stadium for what is supposed to be the biggest event of the year. Like, no, I have my own issues there. I'm not going to go into this too much because we're over time. Speaking of being over time, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. This has been a really fun podcast. And again, thank you so much to everyone in the chat here for joining along with us. If you would like to be part of the chat for the next episode here, we record every Wednesday at 5 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern here, and we will be talking sports every week, every Wednesday here. If you want to follow us on social media, you can go follow us at LAR_baseball on X. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube at Losses Above Replacement. Make sure to hit the bell. You guys will know when we go live here. You can also follow us individually. You can go follow me at the Sports Guy 242. You can go follow Mac at Matthias_A_K. And you can go follow Splash at Mrs. Splashman19. Well, from all of us here at Losses Above Replacement, thank you so much to everyone for coming in today. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! It's a